and no one more mabol, and every more last. Rezos taumos upon him, my eithom the change and these of mesni, a fin of gortos oma, can know you had farin bees, in Tibethin, Dorovin the bay, and steed the bones. Kneel well, the bows are hand of bell, and the old boys in kell, a peony wall. Locos are, man wants these lays of gone, you was going to guide your heart, where there's a no. Rezos taumos athonin, ma etham a jangens these, och mesmi, a fin of gortos oma, can know you had barin bees. Rezos taumos athonin, ma etham a jangens these, och mesmi, a fin of gortos oma, can know you had barin bees. In Tibethin, Dorovin the bay, and steed the bows, the bays, and steed the bows, the bays, and steed the bows, the bays, and steed the bows.
Well, to see her down, that was Trev Lawrence, who along with Penglaze were singing Ken's Tea the Vors, Before You Go, which told of the love of a young man for a girl who wanted to spread her wings and leave Cornwall. But don't worry, Trevor won't be spreading his wings, he'll be back later in the evening. If this in Agan Towlenn Hanneth, Caprice Penglaze, John Bolitho, Gans Dugan, Benjamin Luxon, Ray the Withers, Nebus Presentyes, Gans Charles Causley, Hagafithni O'Cuslorth, Mervyn Davy, Adroy Ober, and Kever da Servia, Peebsacco, Kernewick. We are once again the guest of the Presentyes Hotel on the outskirts of Penzance. The house itself was built in 1857 by Major R.F. Bolitho, whose family had lived in the area for centuries, owned most of the land, the mines, the bank, and the local pub. The field below the house used to be a very popular venue for wrestling and bull baiting. However, at the turn of the century, when a bull baiting event had just started, the skies suddenly grew darker and darker. The heavens opened, and the worst storm in living memory broke forth. The local people thought this was retribution from heaven, and bull baiting ceased thenceforth.
John.
Julia Allard.
Fala Guinness.
Da lower Marastwi.
John, os ydi until you Bolitho Penzance?
Nago, Julia. Ninsvia Benzance, o Thilu you divorced Gerno Glaith, Bude.
Oh, yeah. So, what are you going to sing for us tonight then?
Well, we've got Ben Luxton with us again, so why not ask him what we're going to do?
John is going to sing two old Cornish songs. One, Antim Caswith, Cadgwith Anton, is a drinking song on a typical Cornish theme of robbery and general skullduggery. The other one is a wonderful little melody dear to all Cornish hearts, Rosin Wyn, the White Rose. And I'm going to read for you two poems by our great Cornish poet Charles Causley. They're both legends or stories in verse. The second one is called The Ballad of the Breadman, and it's Charles's very witty and updated version of a very well-known and old story. The first one is the story of John Paul Rudden, who disappeared one day, one night, from his house on the cliff top at Pentewin, and it dates from Tudor Cornwall. John Paul Rudden all of a sudden went out of his house one night when a privateer came sailing near under his window light. They saw his jugs, his plates and mugs, his hearth as bright as brass, his gews and gauze and kicks and shawls all through their spine glass. They saw his wine, his silver shine. They heard his fiddlers play. Tonight, they said, out of his bed, Polruddon we'll take away. And from a skiff they climbed the cliff and crossed the salt wet lawn. And as they crept, Polruddon slept the night away to dawn. In air or ground, what is that sound? Polruddon said and stirred. They breathed. Be still, it was the shrill of the scritch owl you heard. Oh, yet again, I hear it plain, but do I wake or dream? In the morning's fog, the otter dog is whistling by the stream. Now from the sea, what comes for me beneath my window dark? Lie still, my dear. All that you hear is the red fox's bark. Swift from his bed, Polruddon was sped before the day was white. And head and feet wrapped in a sheet, they bore him down the height. And never more through his own door Polruddon went nor came, though many a tide has turned beside the cliff that bears his name. On stone and brick was ivy thick, and the grey roof was thin. And winter's gale with fists of hail broke all the windows in. The chimney crown it tumbled down, and up grew the green, till on the cliff it was as if a house had never been. But when the moon swims late or soon across the Norsal Bay, what sight, what sound haunts air and ground where once Polruddon lay? It is the high, white scritch owl's cry, the fox as dark as blood. And on the hill, the otter still whistles beside the flood.
Heb ugens gwedryn a bellwolok Lowen rhag rathna a ladra dyn ni miwr y bleg. Haniodd drein nans o ma teeth an blydhen o han lili han briari han rosin o weg. Din the bed Din the bells, din the bells. Bees in fawis in menyddio rhac teeth y ladron praise. Twill, twill, honey blue, dros crazy son nesa. Safnes har asgwr la bona pyrweg. Haniodd drein nans o ma teeth an blydhen o han lili, han briari, han rosin o weg. Din the bells, din the bells, din the bells. Fawis yn menyddio rhac teeth y ladron cres. Din the bells, din the bells, din the bells. Bees in fawis yn menyddio rhac teeth y ladron cres.
The Ballad of the Breadman. Mary stood in the kitchen baking a loaf of bread. An angel flew in through the window. We've a job for you, he said. God in his big gold heaven, sitting in his big blue chair, wanted a mother for his little son, suddenly saw you there. Mary shook and trembled. It isn't true what you say. Don't say that, said the angel. The baby's on his way. Joseph was in the workshop planing a piece of wood. The old man's past it, the neighbors said. That girl's been up to no good. And who was that elegant fellow they said in the shiny gear? The things they said about Gable were hardly fit to hear. Mary never answered. Mary never replied. She kept the information, like the baby, safe inside. It was election winter. They went to vote in town. When Mary found her time had come, the hotels let her down. The baby was born in an annex next to the local pub. At midnight, a delegation turned up from the Farmers' Club. They talked about an explosion that made a hole in the sky. Said they'd come to the Lamb and Flag to see God come down from on high. A few days later, a bishop and a 5-star general were seen with the head of an African country in a bulletproof limousine. We've come, they said, with tokens for the little boy to choose. Told the tale about war and peace on the television news. After them came the soldiers, with rifle and bomb and gun, looking for enemies of the state. The family had packed and gone. When they got back to the village, the neighbors said to a man, "That boy'll never be one of us, so he does what he blessed well can." He went round to all the people, a paper crown on his head. "Here's some bread from my father. Take, eat," he said. Nobody seemed very hungry. Nobody seemed to care. Nobody saw the God in himself quietly standing there. He finished up in the papers. He came to a very bad end. He was charged with bringing the living to life. No man was that prisoner's friend. There was only one kind of punishment to fit the kind of crime. They rigged up a trial and shot him dead. They were only just in time. They lifted the young man by the leg. They lifted him by the arm. They locked him in a cathedral in case he came to harm. They stored him safe as water under 7 rocks. One Sunday morning, he burst out like a jack-in-the-box. Through the town he went walking. He showed them the holes in his head. "Now do you want any loaves?" he cried. "Not today," they said.
And rose and wheat, Marwek, Mardek del Diffin, and rose and win, Mar splan, Mar vrintin, a thread a goff Ottomma the vin. O Kenza Penweli so weko, o thest the marwe havel rose, meslem in marvis bliu la veget, marwin havel rose and my thoughts. Miagor and rose and win, Marwek, Mardek del Diffin, and rose and win, Mar splan, Mar vrintin, a thread a goff Ottomma the vin.
And Julie Bartlett, Gennini and Nessa Radden.
Welcome back. Ben, with your da. Now you're wearing a different hat tonight, aren't you?
Oh yes, this is a little unusual. I very rarely get the chance to either tell stories or to read poems, and I love it. It makes a big change from
Yeah, I
singing.
see you really enjoyed doing that.
Yeah.
So anyway, what's it like being back in Cornwall again?
Oh, great, and very busy, you know. I mean, all my times at Cornwall now seem to be, I rush down and there's either dealing with things to do with Duchy Opera or Hall for Cornwall, and it keeps one very busy, just trying to keep it all going.
Anyway, I've got to stop now and look for Rod. I wonder where he's gone.
Well, I don't know. Was he off after Cam Canoic? He's crazy about dancing, isn't he? So maybe that's it.
You've all seen the Helston Ferry dance, one of Cornwall's popular processional dances, but of course not all dances are processional. And that's why I've asked Cam Canoic to come along tonight to show some others. So, what have you got for us, Alison?
We're going to dance Mrs. Parkin's jig, and a broomstick dance, and a dance called Corwethen.
Broomstick, that's interesting. I believe Julia's grandmother used to do that when she was a kiddie, with her robin letters on the kitchen table. But I don't see any kitchen table, but I'm still waiting for you to do it.
Bagpipes. They're very much a part of Celtic culture. And even here in Cornwall, we too once had the bagpipes, but sadly they died out a long time ago. Now there's very little information about the bagpipes, but we do know that they existed. And recently, 3 Cornishmen got together to try to work on a project to recreate the Cornish bagpipes. And one of them, Merv Davey, is here with us tonight to talk about it. So Mervyn, Prague of Sarah Vera, the Saya, Das Formia and Pipsako Cornuet.
We want to recreate the Cornish bagpipe because it's very much part of Cornish history now. There's bench ends and carvings all over sort of North Cornwall, and also in the Miracle Plays. There's a lot of information about the bagpipes in the Miracle Plays. The quote I like the best is "Whether in scon piborian and tis of indontia."
Oh, so in the play, I think it's from Greens and Bees, The Creation of the World, the instructions are to blow up your pipes, minstrel, so that the people can start dancing.
They want to swing it, they want to get dancing.
That's right.
Which the pipes are quite different from things like the Scottish pipes we've got here, the large Highland pipes.
Yeah, I can see, because that one's got one, and this one's got two.
We've got two chanters.
Yeah, Priga.
It's harmony. The Cornish always sing in harmony. They play in harmony as well. Why not?
Oh,
That's what it's all about,
It's
see.
obvious, isn't it, really?
In fact, this is a prototype, and I was never very happy with the end result. In the Miracle Plays, it's quite clearly outdoors. It's quite clearly for dancing.
So it's going to be loud.
Louder. So we're working on a sort of bigger version altogether. Unfortunately, not ready yet, but they're on their way. They're on their way.
So one can't actually play these yet?
Not now, no.
Never. Okay. Well.
It's one sister weather a bit.
Oh yeah, more playing.
Ottomma bombard. It was better than
Right. So here's our weekly instrumental solo.
Or take me for goodness sake. God, yeah. Well, truest hen you all, if fame your Lawender, and near Garza, Gospel's Grace, of Plupini, Reham Junior's Guinea, Drayton Duwessa do Zayton. Well, JC, I've enjoyed myself, haven't you?
Oh yeah, me on Jersey is fest. Why don't we do it again sometime?
Oh, heb doubt.
Agam and Duethager, the Benglaise, Avin Canaragani, Can Gernuic Mirgaris. Trev, laver than Neffeth any hever more plague?
No matter where the Cornish gather throughout the world, they dearly love to sing. And when they do sing, one song tells the story of a young lad who inveigles a veiled young lady away down to Lamorna for what he thinks is going to be a little bit of extramarital nookie. However, to his cost, he finds that hidden behind the veil is none other than his wife. Now, you all know the words, so you will join in with the last chorus with us, won't you? Okay?
Towlenn is blue, in Cavern always stay, in plain it fed his Genzi pan, in the head how grey, and down lagus to the deep. Who know he how Coandra, praise all and knows the renny moors, Alemma the Lamorna, when now we're no and lay, and can be beaten round, down lagus out there and free hand, but they will live in hall, all brilliant so in blue. You know he how Coandra, praise all and knows the renny moors, Alemma the Lamorna. There been he Halloween, having panade in car, and Rosie then Moby, off them Hannah go and par. Fred had his being fail, he Fremin Calramia, Mark Kenneth Moe, a drinking Moe, a Warren Bellamorna. When now the Towlenn lay, and can he beat me round, Bill Agus some till entry, and the Towlenn living on, oh brilliant so in blue. You know he out the Wandra, praise all and knows the renny moors, Alemma the Lamorna. It may be me a woman, that has won me a ring, into me the swan is praised around Bradley and Green, or I cannot be a bay, racked on the bays of Ona, and go their pay, a reverend pay, Alemma the Lamorna. When now we're Towlenn lay, and can he beat me round, New Lagus out to every hand, but they were glipping hard, on brilliant soul in blue. You know he out Coandra, praise all and knows the renny moors, Alemma the Lamorna. When now we're Towlenn lay, and can he beat me round, New Lagus out to every hand, but they were glipping hard, oh brilliant so in blue. You know he how Coandra, praise all and knows, the renny moors, Alemma the